The town stood on the edge of two worlds. A river marked the boundary. One side was his country, the other side held people who spoke the same language. They shared the same history, yet they were considered different. This was Braunau am Inn, a small town with a big story. It was a place where empires clashed, where cultures intertwined, and where in 1889 a boy named Adolf was born. This boy, born on the border, would grow up with a keen sense of place. He felt the weight of history all around him. The old buildings, the flowing river, the echoes of past conflicts. They all spoke to him. Braunau am Inn was more than just a town, it was a symbol. It represented the divisions that can exist between people. Divisions that might seem small to outsiders, but to those who lived there, they were real and significant. Alois Hitler, Adolf's father, was a customs official. His job was to enforce the law at the border. He took pride in his work. He saw himself as a guardian of their way of life. Alois had worked hard to rise from humble beginnings. He instilled in his son a respect for authority. He also passed on a strong work ethic, but their relationship was complex, often strained. The family moved several times due to Alois's job. Each move brought young Adolf to a new town, a new school. He learned to adapt, but he also felt the instability of these changes. Despite the moves, a constant remained. It was the language, the culture, the sense of being part of something bigger than himself. This was his heritage, and it would shape his worldview in profound ways. Young Adolf was a bright student. He excelled in school, but he was also a dreamer. He devoured stories of the past. Tales of heroes and battles filled his imagination. He was particularly drawn to stories of his people's history, the ancient tribes, the mighty empires, the struggles and triumphs of his ancestors. These stories ignited a fire in his soul. The Napoleonic Wars, with their tales of bravery and betrayal, captivated him. He read about the unification of Germany under Bismarck. These events filled him with a sense of awe. But they also sparked a question. Why was his homeland Austria not part of this unified German nation? This question would linger in his mind. It fueled his growing interest in politics and national identity. As Adolf grew older, he became increasingly aware of the cultural differences between his people and their neighbors. He saw these differences manifested in language, customs, and traditions. He felt a strong connection to his German heritage. He embraced the language, the music, the folklore. He believed that these things bound his people together. They made them unique. He began to see the world through the lens of his heritage. He interpreted events based on their perceived impact on his people. This perspective, while understandable, would have lasting consequences. His sense of heritage was not based on hatred or exclusion, at least not at first. It was rooted in a love for his culture, a desire to see it preserved. But this love, unguided and untamed, would eventually take a dark turn. In his free time, Adolf escaped into a world of his own making. He sketched, he painted, he lost himself in his art. He imagined grand cities and epic battles. He was a dreamer, an idealist. He yearned for a world where his people would be united, strong, respected. He saw himself as a part of this future. He began to write stories and poems. His writing, often dramatic and emotional, reflected his passion for his heritage. He wrote about the beauty of his homeland, the strength of its people. His imagination, so vibrant and powerful, would later be used to disastrous effect. His words, once filled with youthful idealism, would become tools of manipulation and hate. Section 6. Shifting Borders. The Austro-Hungarian Empire was a patchwork of different ethnicities and languages. It was a place of both great beauty and simmering tension. As a young man, Adolf witnessed firsthand the challenges of maintaining unity in such a diverse empire. He saw how easily tensions could flare up and how quickly differences could be exploited. He longed for a simpler time, a time when his people were united under a common banner. He believed that only through unity could they achieve true greatness. His experiences in the Austro-Hungarian Empire would leave an indelible mark on his worldview. They would fuel his desire for a strong, unified nation, a nation that would never again be vulnerable to the whims of outsiders. Section 7, a sense of belonging. Like many young people, Adolf searched for a sense of belonging. He craved acceptance. He wanted to be part of something larger than himself. He found solace in shared traditions, the songs his people sang, the stories they told, the values they held dear. These things gave him a sense of identity, a sense of purpose. He joined clubs and societies, he participated in debates, he sought out others who shared his passion for his heritage. He began to develop his skills as a speaker. His desire for belonging was not inherently bad, it is a fundamental human need. But his need, twisted by circumstance and fueled by a dangerous ideology, would have catastrophic consequences. Section 8. The Weight of Legacy. Adolf's family had a strong sense of duty. His father had served the empire faithfully. His mother had instilled in him a deep respect for tradition. He felt the weight of this legacy on his shoulders. He wanted to make his family proud. He wanted to leave his mark on the world. He dreamed of becoming an artist, but his talents were not recognized. He was rejected by the Vienna Academy of Fine Arts. This rejection was a bitter pill to swallow. It left him feeling lost, directionless. He drifted from job to job. He spent his days in libraries, immersing himself in history and philosophy. He was searching for answers. Section 9. Shaping a worldview. Adolf's childhood experiences, his birthplace on the border, his family's values, his fascination with history, his yearning for belonging, all contributed to shaping his worldview. He developed a deep-seated belief in the importance of national identity. He came to see the world as a struggle between different groups vying for power. He was a product of his time, a time of rising nationalism, economic uncertainty, and social upheaval. His ideas, while extreme, resonated with many who felt left behind by the modern world. His story is a cautionary tale. It shows how easily good intentions can be twisted, how a love for one's own culture can morph into something dark and destructive. It is a reminder that we must always be vigilant against the forces of hatred and division. We must never forget the lessons of the past.